Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for inviting me today. It is a great honor and pleasure to be here. Today, I don't want to give a technical lecture. Instead, I would like to share my journey as a researcher. I hope my story will inspire you to see research not only as a graduation requirement, but as a journey that can shape your future. This photo was taken in 1992 when I graduated with my bachelor's degree. When I look at this picture, I don't see a future professor. I simply see a young student with many dreams and many questions. Like many of you today, I wonder, what should I do next? Am I good enough? Can I really make a difference? The woman beside me is my mother. She believed in me before I believed in myself. Her support gave me the confidence to keep moving forward. If someone had told me that one day I would become a professor, work in different countries, and supervise many PhD students, I would not have believed it. This is why I always tell my students, your future depends not on where you start, but on your willingness to keep learning and never stop being curious. Every professor and every researcher was once a student, just like you. After completing my PhD, I had the opportunity to continue my journey as a postdoctoral researcher. I first stayed at University Teknologi Malaysia, and later I joined Hokkaido University in Japan as a GSPS postdoctoral fellow. For me, this was a turning point. I was no longer learning only from books. I was learning from researchers from different countries, different cultures, and different ways of thinking. I also realized that science has no borders. Research is a global language. People might speak different languages, but we all ask the same questions. How can we discover something new? These experiences taught me that good research is not only about knowledge. It is also about collaboration, openness, and continuous learning. That is why I encourage all of you, if you have the opportunity to study or do research abroad, don't be afraid to take it. It might change not only your career, but also the way you see the world. This slide shows three important moments in my academic journey. The first photo was taken in 1998 when I completed my PhD. At the time, I thought graduation was the finish line, but I was wrong. I soon realized that earning a PhD was only the beginning of a lifelong journey of learning. The second photo was taken in 2010 when I became a professor at University Teknologi Malaysia. It took many years of research, publications, collaboration, and learning to reach that point. The third photo was taken in 2022 when I joined Universitas Negeri Malang as a professor and head of the integrated laboratory. Looking back, I have learned one important lesson. Success is not one big achievement. It is a result of many small steps taken consistently over many years. So, I don't worry about becoming successful overnight. Just keep learning, keep improving, and keep moving forward. Small steps today can lead to great achievement tomorrow. This is one of my favorite photos. The picture on the left represents three generations. Number one is my postdoc supervisor, Professor Bonsho Otani at Hokkaido University. Number 2 is me, and number 3 is one of my student and postdoc, Dr. Sheila Chandran. To me, the photo represents something very important. Knowledge should never stop with one person. It should be passed from one generation to the next. The photo on the right shows some of my former students who are now professors and researchers at universities in different countries. This makes me realize that my greatest achievement is not my publication or my awards. My greatest achievement is seeing my students become successful and inspire others. That is the true meaning of education. I hope that one day many of you will also become mentors and inspire the next generation. So the title of my talk is Why Research Matters, from Student to Future Maker. Today, I would like to share my personal journey, not only as a researcher, but also as a student who once had many questions about the future. Through this journey, I hope you will see that research is more than an academic requirement. It is a way of learning, growing, solving problems, and making meaningful contribution to society. So let's begin. Before we talk about research, let us first look at the world we live in. The world is changing faster than ever. Technology is advancing rapidly, and new challenges continue to emerge. Today, the success of a nation is determined not only by its natural resources, but more importantly by the quality of its people. Natural resources can be exhausted, but human knowledge, creativity, and innovation are renewable. That is why education and research are more important than ever. They help us create solutions, not just consume resources. So, what makes human being truly valuable? In my opinion, there are 3 important things. First, values. Values shape our characters, integrity, and the way we treat others. Second, knowledge. Knowledge helps us understand the world and think critically. Third, technology. Technology allows us to turn ideas into real solutions that improve people's lives. When these all 3 come together, values, knowledge, and technology, they create what we call is the innovations. And that is what research is all about. Research is much more than writing papers or completing a thesis. Every technology we use today, every medicine that saves lives, and every innovation that changed the world began with one simple question. Someone was curious enough to ask why, or how can we make this better? That is the power of research. Research is the engine of civilization. It transforms curiosity into knowledge and knowledge into innovation. So, I encourage all of you, don't be satisfied with only using knowledge. Try to create new knowledge. Be a producer of knowledge, not just a consumer. Many students think research is only for writing a thesis. But research gives us much more than a degree. Research teaches us how to ask a question and find meaningful answers. It develops critical thinking and problem-solving skills, skills that are valuable in any career. Reset also allows us to solve real problems and improve people's lives. And finally, reset creates new knowledge that can benefit future generations. That is why research is not just an academic activity. It is an investment in yourself and in the future. Many students ask me, Professor, should I continue to a master's or PhD? My answer is simple. It depends on your goal. A bachelor's degree gives you the knowledge that the world already knows. A master's degree teaches you how to improve and develop existing knowledge. A PhD challenges you to create new knowledge and discover something that has never been known before. Every level is valuable. Each one has a different purpose. If you enjoy asking questions, solving problems, and creating new ideas, then research and graduate studies might be the right path for you. Today, the world faces many complex challenges. Climate change, clean energy, health, food security, artificial intelligence, and education. None of these problems can be solved by one person or one country alone. They need new ideas. They need innovation. They need research. That is why the world needs more researchers. Not only scientists in laboratories, but also people who are willing to ask questions, solve problems, and make a positive impact. Perhaps one of the people who will help solve the challenges is sitting in this room today. Finally, I believe research is more than earning a degree or publishing papers. Research is about serving others. Every discovery, no matter how small, has a potential to improve life, solve problems, and create a better future. As researchers, we are not only building our careers, we are building knowledge that others can use and continue. To me, that is a true meaning of research. It is not only an academic journey, it is a meaningful contribution to humanity. Before I share my research journey, let me leave you with one important message. Don't chase positions, chase competence. If you become truly competent, opportunities will find you. Now, let me share how this principle shapes my own journey over the past 30 years. Now let me share my own research journey. It has been a journey of curiosity, challenges, failures, and continuous learning. I hope my experiences will inspire you to start your own research journey. This is a summary of my research journey over the past 30 years. It was not a straight path. Every phase has different challenges and different lessons. Let me briefly share what I learned from each stage of the journey. This was the beginning of my research journey. At that time, I didn't know much. I was just a student with curiosity, but very little experience. Every day, I learned something new. How to use laboratory equipment, how to design experiments, and how to think like a researcher. Of course, not every experiment was successful. Many failed. Sometimes I felt frustrated because I didn't understand why. But looking back, I realized those failures were not mistakes. They were best teachers. During these years, I was not making big discoveries. I was building something much more important, a strong foundation. Just like a building, without a strong foundation, nothing great can stand. So, my advice to all of you is simple. Don't rush to become successful. First, build a strong foundation. After a strong foundation, I enter the next stage of my journey. Things become clearer. I understood my research better, and my experience become more meaningful. This was the time when I started publishing my work and presenting my research at conferences. It was exciting to see that my work could be shared with the scientific community. But I also learned an important lesson. Research is never a journey alone. I learned so much from my supervisors, colleagues, collaborators, and students. Every discussion helped me see new ideas and new perspectives. Looking back, I realized that success did not come from one big breakthrough. It came from many small improvements made consistently over time. That experience gave me the confidence to believe that I could make a meaningful contribution to science. This was a turning point in my research journey. Instead asking, what have others done? I started asking, what new idea I can contribute? That changed everything. I began exploring original ideas that had never been tried before. It was exciting, but it was also risky. Many experiments failed, and many of my papers were rejected. At first, rejection was disappointing, but over time, I realized that every comment from the reviewers helped me improve my work. So I keep going. Eventually, one of my ideas was accepted. It opened a new direction for my research and gave me the confidence to continue exploring new ideas. From this experience, I learned that originality requires courage, and breakthrough come from persistence. This was the stage when my role began to change. It was no longer working only on my own research. I started leading research projects, building teams, and collaborating with researchers from different countries. I also realized that research is not only about discovering new knowledge. It is about solving real problems that benefit society. As my experience grew, another responsibility came. I began mentoring students and young researchers. Seeing them grow into independent researchers became one of the most rewarding parts of my career. This stage taught me an important lesson. The impact of researchers is measured not only by what we discover, but also by the people we inspire and the opportunities we create for others. Today, my perspective on research has changed. When I was younger, I focused on building my own career and my own research. Today, my focus is no longer me, it is we. My greatest joy is seeing my students become independent researchers, future leaders, and contributors to society. I also believe that today's challenges are too big to solve alone. That is why collaboration, mentoring, and building strong research network are more important than ever. Looking back over the past 30 years, I have learned one important lesson. A researcher's legacy is not measured by the number of papers published, but by the number of lives inspired and the impact we leave for future generations. That is the legacy I hope that leave behind. So far, I have shared the challenges of doing research. But there is another side of research that people rarely talk about. One, the most rewarding aspect of research is that it is enjoyable. People often think research is difficult, stressful, and full of failures. That is true sometimes. But research is also like solving a puzzle. One day I asked myself a simple question. Why must the catalyst always stay at the bottom of the liquid? Then another question came to my mind. What if it could float at the boundary between air and water? It sounded like a strange idea. So we decided to try it. After many experiments, we successfully designed a catalyst that floated at the liquid gas boundary, just like you can see in this picture. When I first saw it working, I was very excited. Not because we had published a paper, but because we had discovered something new. That moment reminded me why I love research. Research allows us to ask simple questions, test bold ideas, and sometimes discover something that nobody has imagined before. That feeling of discovery is one of the greatest joys of being a researcher. After proving that catalyst could float, the next challenge was simple. How can we design a better material? We start with ordinary material, sucrose, or simply sugar. Through a series of synthesis steps, we create a tiny hollow spheres made of titanium. Then we coated the surface with polystyrene, allowing the material to float naturally at the liquid gas boundary. This project reminds me that research is a creative process. Sometimes simple material and simple ideas can lead to something completely new. Having an idea is not enough. As researchers, we must prove that our idea is correct. So we carefully examine the material using advanced microscopes. The image shows that the particles were hollow, exactly as we had designed them. We also confirmed that the wall was only about 3 nanometer thick. For us, this was an exciting moment. The idea in our mind had become a real material that we could see and measure. That is what makes research so satisfying. Research is turning imagination into the evidence. Once we had successfully designed the floating material, the next question was, can it really work as a catalyst? To make it active, we added tiny gold nanoparticles onto the surface. Then we tested it in a simple oxidation reaction. The result was very encouraging because the catalyst floated at the boundary between air and water. It could easily interact with both oxygen from the air and the reactants in the liquid. As a result, the reaction became much more efficient. This taught me and important lessons. A simple idea, when supported by good science, can become useful innovation. Finally, we wanted to answer one important question. Did our idea really work? The graph on the left shows the answers. Our floating catalyst performed much better than the conventional catalyst. Why? Because it stayed exactly where the reaction happened, at the boundary between air and liquid. This allows oxygen from the air and the reactant into liquid to meet more efficiently. For me, this was more than a successful experiment. It was proof that a simple question combined with the creativity, persistence, and scientific evidence can lead to a meaningful innovation. That is why I truly believe Riset is enjoyable. Before I conclude, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all my mentors, collaborators, colleagues, postdoctoral researchers, and students. Everything I have shared today have been possible because of the many people who have supported and inspired me throughout my journey. Research is never a one-person achievement. It always a team effort. Thank you for your attention. I wish all of you success in your own journey, and I hope one day you will make a meaningful contribution to science and society. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.